Can't do better than that, look at that.
We're out to catch trout, big trout. We also encounter creepy crawlies, dead things, and show Master Chef how it's done. 3 days of backpacking and trout fishing paradise. Heli Seeker flies fishermen and hunters to wilderness destinations across the Kaimanawa and Kaimanawa Forest Park.
Hop on there, mate.
Everything has to be weighed. The more people in the chopper, the less gear that can be taken. Before we know it, our lives are in the hands of our pilot Gus, who flies us across some of the most beautiful country New Zealand has to offer. The Kaimanawa Forest Park covers an area of around 77,000 hectares, and this is the source of one of New Zealand's greatest trout fisheries, the Rangitikei River. The plan is to fly as far north as we're permitted, to where the Otamatanui meets the Rangitikei. In just 10 minutes flying time, our landing pad is in sight, and this time we're heading for the rocks. With expertise and patience, Gus settles the chopper carefully between the stones, and within what seems like only a minute, we're alone with the wilderness. For the next 3 days, we'll be totally disconnected from the outside world.
Alright, we've just landed. I'm with Mike Stent from Taupo, fishing guide. Mike, where are we?
Clyde, we're at the junction of the Otamatanui and Rangitikei River. We're going to spend 3 days fishing up above Ecology Creek and going through some of the absolute best and most pristine water in the North Island. All this water above us is wilderness zone, so there's no fly from this point up. We have to get our backpack on and just do it the hard way, mate, and it's all awesome fishing. We'll see some great country.
Okay, boys, there's 4 of us, let's go.
With packs on our backs and weeks of being inactive, we start off at a snail's pace, which makes it kind of fitting that we walk around the corner and find this.
These snails here, I mean, they're about yay big. They're just a big, humongous thing, and one thing they've been doing, have been a sort of a survey looking after this area for these carnivorous snails, if you like. It's one of the few places in the country you find them. I mean, I picked one up on the river the other day. Yeah, it was literally a shell, like so thick around, huge. And they're monitoring these snails in various patches up the river, obviously marked out up here on the other side of the river from us, but there's an area we're walking past later in the day. They've done little surveys up through there, and you find the odd one up there too, but certainly not something you trip over every day.
I don't know about you, but I could get excited about giant carnivorous snails, just not as excited as I get about looking at our first trout. A healthy specimen it is too.
7-pound trout, easy.
Mike estimates this trout is about 7 pounds. Mike, this is, like, as we said, a wilderness area, and there's some big trophy fish in the Rangitikei. What's the story with catch and release or eating these things?
Clyde, it's a special river, okay? The only reason these fish are so big is because people put them back again. So it's in my book, a definite catch and release river. It's a fragile fishery, there's not lots and lots of fish, and if we kill fish, they're not going to be there for the next guy. So look after a water like this, it's really special.
With the guidelines set, we get down to the smaller details of gear setup.
Try to keep the indicators really little up here, quite simply because the water is very, very clear, so long leaders, fine tippets, and a multitude of different flies. This could be taken as a, if I get it out of here, as a mayfly nymph or a caddis nymph, okay, but it's really the size that counts. We've got a fly here with rubber legs, okay, a little bit more life, a little bit more movement. Whether it catches more fish is debatable, but it certainly catches a few more fishermen.
During our journey up the Rangitikei River, we expect to encounter 3 species of fish. The longfin eel, which is endemic to New Zealand, and the brown trout and the rainbow trout, which are both introduced species. The Rangitikei is one of New Zealand's longest rivers, 185 kilometres to be exact, but we'll only be crisscrossing around about 15 kilometres of its path to the sea, and around every corner lies a new and exciting pool to fish, so let's get started.
Okay, so we've got a rainbow sitting, he's a bit high, there's a few fish in this pool, but there's one just right there and he's just on a station. That means he's just moving back and forth looking for anything that's coming down with the current. So we're going to offer him something just a little bit to the right of him and just ahead of him, and he'll take it.
Now that's what I call positive thinking. Our goal this trip is to better my previous best fish, a 6-pound rainbow hen, which I caught about 20 years ago. This time I really want a rainbow jack, but I have to confess that my fly fishing skills have waned over the years and I'm going to need a bit of help. There's more to flicking this line than meets the eye.
Oh, you pulled out of his mouth.
Sorry.
Oh, never mind, that was good.
You got that too.
He came up and he ate it.
Okay, it's a classic example of failure with the dry fly. Dropped the fly nicely in front of the fish, came up, took it, but you've got to give them a bit longer than a second. Allow them to get it into their mouth before you pull it out of the mouth.
Well, what's got to
So that's
happen?
what not to do.
What happens is the fish comes up, takes the fly, eats it. You've got to let it turn to go down again with it. You don't worry about the fish feeling a big fluffy thing in its mouth. It's used to eating crunchy stuff. So it's 1, 2, 3. Just lift. Fish wins on this occasion, but I don't even know if he felt that. So we'll have another go.
It'll make some good tucker. Of course, it's illegal to put one of those on your hook, but I'm sure it'll be very, very attractive to the fish.
As with all failure, there's a tendency to look for solutions, but the fly fisherman has to be disciplined. Using insects or spiders as bait is a big no-no. There are 300 fishery officers policing New Zealand fisheries, so don't be tempted to break the rules.
Just be real careful crossing these streams. Undo your pack, make sure it's free around your waist, because if you get sucked down into that, you want to be able to get that sucker off.
Finally, a place of rest.
Well, I'll tell you what, I bet we're all pretty happy to see the side of this campsite. Great site, isn't it?
We bought the cold beer, that's what I want to know. Yep, same deal.
How many men does it take to put up a tent? 3 when they're all tired.
After a day of carrying packs and wading upstream against the current, the constant glare of the sun was beginning to get to us. And I have to say, it's a great feeling to make it to our first campsite.
Trout everywhere, but we're eating sardine.
Before we know it, we're enjoying the warmth of the open fire, a freeze-dried meal, and the thoughts of what tomorrow will bring. There's nothing like some carbohydrates to kick the day off.
It's very thick and gluggy. It's a bit like glue, really. Mind you, the good thing about it is you don't have to eat much of it because it expands in your stomach, so it'll keep you going for ages.
Keeping your sleeping bag and spare clothes dry is vital in this environment. A dry bag is a great start, and we always use rubbish bags to line our packs.
All right, we've got a beautiful day today. The cloud's just lifting, and it's looking like being a real hot scorcher. What have we got here, Mike? We're just going to take a look at the map.
Well, mate, we're not going to work you quite so hard today. Yesterday we landed at the Otam Junction, or the Otamatanui as it's properly called, and walked up through the wilderness zone of the Rangitikei. That part of the river's a wilderness zone where you can't land a helicopter or fly into by any means, and you've got to put on the backpack and just hoof it. Sort of camped around about here last night, making our way up to Ecology Junction, so it's less than half the distance we walked yesterday, but still some really good fishing. The river gets a little bit smaller, but no less trout, so hoping for a big one. I've seen a few nice big brown trout up there, so see if we can't snag a brownie today.
Excellent, let's get going. One thing you want to bring along on a trip like this, you've got to have them as your pair of sunglasses. That allows you to cut through the sheen, and then you can see the trout underneath. That's better.
It's a perfect morning and the light has just revealed a good-sized fish feeding on the edge of a drop-off, and Mike's wasting no time with presenting his artificial breakfast.
What sort of fish do you think this time, Mike?
Brown trout, mate. Big brownie.
Brown this time.
Nice brown trout. Very big brown trout. So let's back off here because this was a big fish.
What poundage is your trace line?
Just on. I've got a tapered leader down to 6 pound, and I've got 5 pound tippet down to the nymph, and he's on the nymph. So I haven't got a lot to come and go on. I might just take him downstream into the shallows down here.
With around 123,000 fishing licences sold every year, trout fishing is big business in New Zealand. Protecting the fisheries and at the same time ensuring stocks are maintained is a careful mix of rules, management and ethics. To catch a fish of this size requires years of growth.
It's a big fish. It's a ripper. Fish has got a lot of weight.
In remote areas where trout populations are only maintained through spawning, it's vital that people abide by the catch and release policy.
Interesting how brown trout fight versus rainbows. They fight with their body weight rather than their brains, I suppose. They don't go rushing madly around the place, and you took a little bit of getting in, but beautiful trout. I'd say somewhere between 8 and 9 pounds. Spectacular brown trout. Let them go for another day. Great to see them swim away, isn't it?
Look at this, get down here. You can see the deer marks. It's not ultra fresh, but there's been one just through here. We haven't seen a lot of deer sign, but a little bit earlier we had one barking up the side there. A lot of deer around just to make the bush a little bit more interesting. We're just going through the GPS. GPS these days have got maps in them, so they can just be a good navigational tool, and especially to find those secret pools that you've got hidden somewhere. What have we got, Mike?
Mate, I'm just looking at how far we've got to go today so I can take this pack off. We're probably about an hour from our camp. We've done pretty much 3/4 of our walk today. According to this, we're only about another K1.5, so not too far now.
What we've got here is a fine looking Seeker stag. He's in hard velvet. Each year they cast their antlers, and that's his new ones for the year. It's a bit of a waste, he's been shot. Whoever shot it's just taken the back stakes out of him. Haven't even bothered with the back end, the good hind quarters, and it's just a waste. The insects are certainly devouring it. If you're ever out in the wilderness like this and you find a dead animal, never eat it. You don't know how long it's been dead, it'll make you very crook. Alright, we've just made it to campsite number 2, and we're right over halfway now, aren't we?
Oh yeah, well, we're 2/3 of our way through our trip. We're right at the Ecology Creek Junction on the Rangitikei. Gonna make camp here tonight. It's a great old campsite.
And what have we got for tea tonight?
We just so happen we've got a vacuum-packed morsel for ourselves to cook tonight. I won't kill a fish in this river, but it's nice to cook a trout, so we managed to bring a slice of Taupo trout up to cook anyway. We bought this one in just for a bit of a cooking demo, show you what we do when we're in the hills cooking fish. So whether it's in the hills, camping around the lake or whatever. First thing to do is salt the fish, give it a good little dose of salt and let that sit in there for a good hour or so. At the same time I'm going to give it a dose of a bit of liquid honey. Almost marinates these things really. So we'll just put that over there and it'll dribble all over this fish. And lastly, some lemon pepper. The other thing I bought with me, you may or may not want to, if it depends on your sweet tooth, but a little bit of brown sugar. Move it around here, looks a bit yuck, but that'll just dribble everywhere, all over it. I bought this little bit of a grill. It's out of a smoker from home. Weighs nothing, so it's easy to take with you. I've stuffed it down the side of my backpack, wrapped up in a couple of plastic bags. It does the job well. So I prop a couple of rocks up in the fire, let the fire burn down just to some embers, sit that on top. Takes about a half an hour, so I'll show you what that looks like later on in the evening when we cook it.
While we wait for the honey, salt and lemon pepper marinade to work wonders on our fish dinner, there's one more chance this evening to catch my rainbow.
I'd spotted a fish right in the middle of the river there. It's feeding away nicely, so we're just going to put a fly over top of him and see if it won't eat. We're just going to put the old faithful royal wolf. Nice big white wings, easy to see.
The water is so clear that the fish must know we're here. We're all surprised that they're not more flighty than this.
Get the length right. Okay. Underwater. Got it. Yep, got it. Well done. Awesome. Let him run. Let him around the lens, take some of that slack line you've got there.
This is what it's all about. This time of the evening, beautiful evening, rainbow trout, Rangitikei, what more do you want? Oops, I'm beyond the leader, that's bad, isn't it?
I'm starting to get the hang of this casting, but my fish identification could do with some work. This isn't the rainbow jack that I was hoping for. It's a brown trout. Not that I'm complaining. Brown trout are easily identified by the brownish red spots on their flanks and their olive brown colour.
Okay, we've got to try and land them back down this way.
Brown trout can reach weights of over 15 kilograms and can live up to 8 to 10 years. Some brown trout venture out to sea, but this one's sure to stay riverbound.
Alright. Look at the teeth on him. Can't do better than that. Look at that. That's a stunning fish.
It's a beautiful fish.
This thing here is just like a big ball of jelly. He's just so fat.
Are the browns as easy to catch or harder to catch than the rainbows, Mike?
Well, you'd think they're smarter. You don't see very many of them. Pretty fish.
Okay, Mike, what's the stage? What have you done?
I like a nice smoky fire, enough heat under there just to cook it through and smoke it at the same time. So 15 minutes should be just beauty.
It's illegal to sell trout in New Zealand, so if you want to test your own trout cooking skills, you're going to have to catch it yourself or have a generous friend like Mike.
Yourself a fork and have a crack at that.
The norm for us is a tin of tuna with instant mashed potatoes and freeze-dried peas, so we've been really spoilt tonight.
It's magnificent.
Pretty good?
And I'm not joking.
No mate, it comes up really good, doesn't it?
It's really good.
It's a stunning.
Look, I'll tell you,
piece of
food
fish.
always does taste good out in the wild. By crikey, this is really good.
Simple meal, isn't it?
Marvellous. Thanks, Mike, for that lovely demonstration of how to cook trout in the wild.
You're welcome.
Whenever you're finished with your campsite, always put your fire out. It's extremely important. Those things can stay hot for a long period of time, and then once you get a little spark going off, the whole bush goes up. So always put the water on the fire before you leave.
It's our last day wading the Rangitikei River, and it's another corker. We haven't come far, and Mike's already spotted a fish feeding in the head of the pool.
Took it straight away, didn't he? Like the look of you.
Before we know it, we're looking at a solid rainbow jack, just what I was after.
Oh, look, I'm guessing, but he's probably 7 or 8 pound. He's quite an old fish. But pretty fish, isn't he? Yeah, look at that jaw on him. Awesome snout. Quite an old trout. You know, they've got to get a bit of age on them to get that big hook like that. And that's what we've come looking for.
Male trout have a pronounced hook on their bottom lip that accentuates with age. The female, however, has a smoother, more rounded mouth, still capable of swift rebuke, so watch your fingers. Lurking in most New Zealand rivers and lakes is the longfin eel. It feeds on meat and fish, dead or alive, and will also eat frogs and small ducklings.
Well, that'd be a good bit of tucker there. They call that tuna, the Maori name tuna for eel. There's quite a few eels right through this river. That's one of the smallest we've seen. And one we saw yesterday was probably about 4 foot. Pretty serious little guy.
Males live for about 35 years of age and females up to 50 years. Large specimens can reach weights of over 40 kilograms. We're making good progress and the day is still young, but there's no sign of that rainbow jack that's been eluding me all these years. a quick reassessment of flies, and we're back into it.
Right.
He took that beautifully off the water, didn't he? Look at the backdrop here. Marvellous, isn't it? There we go, this is a beautiful pool too.
My enthusiasm for a jack hasn't helped my luck. This one's a hen. Now, a hen like this will lay several hundred to several thousand eggs, which a jack will then fertilise during the winter months.
Yeah, that's a beautiful hen, isn't it?
Isn't it pretty? Look at the size of the belly on it. She'll be full of eggs. She'll be spawning this season. So another one breeding for the future of the fishery.
This is a good start to the day. It's as you can see, it's just the most perfect day. It's the last day, and it's about 10:15 now in the morning AM. And here we go. We've got a good start. Took the tri-fly beautifully.
There you go. Look at that, eh? What a start.
What a start to the day.
Rangitikei dry fly fish.
I'm starting to wonder whether we'll get to see that rainbow jack I've been after. But persistence, as always, is the key to success.
Get taken it, no, just move back for it. This side. One tip up.
I've
now had several attempts at guessing the fish on the end of my line. This time I've got to be right, surely.
Oh damn, I love those jacks. They've got that big jaw sticking out there. Just see him come up and then woof, and then missed it and went down again, tried again. Oh, this is marvellous. You've got to give this a shot.
To increase our chances, Mike changed rigs so that we're using 2 flies, a nymph dropper under the water and a dry fly on the surface, and it's definitely done the trick.
Taken both flies.
Yeah, that's hungry, eh?
So what he's done, that first time he came down, he's obviously picked the nymph up and kept swimming.
Yeah. And then went for the
grabbed
dry. What does he come in at, Mike?
Oh mate, he's got to be a good 6 plus.
Yeah. Super fight, eh?
It's pretty though, isn't it?
Yeah.
In closing, I asked Mike about what he thinks makes the Rangitikei so special.
Above us in this area we're running through here is all called the Ecology Wilderness Zone, and it's a no landing zone for any aircraft. It is a big chunk of wilderness and a truly special piece of the country. I enjoy it a lot because I've taken the opportunity to share the cost of a helicopter with friends at times, so it makes it sort of like $300 each or something like that, and we're in here for 3 to 5 days. So I mean that's not $1 million. I mean people will spend $100 to go to a rugby match, go to the World Cup, go to a concert. I choose to save some money and make this a holiday, and I enjoy it a lot because I can come in here. I know that someone's not going to dump on a river above me when I'm fishing. I come in here because there's not a lot of people in here, because if you come in here you've really got to do it the hard way. You've got to be prepared to put a backpack on your back and walk.